Day 9 of Sean Diddy Combs' federal trial saw bombshell testimony from rapper Kid Cudi, who alleged that Diddy retaliated against him after learning that Cudi was dating Cassie Ventura, culminating in a supposed Molotov cocktail attack on Kid Cudi's car.
The first witness, former Intercontinental Hotel security guard Israel Flores, testified about responding to that now infamous incident, speaking with Combs and his ex-girlfriend. A key witness in this case, Cassie Ventura.
Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange.
She was saying that she wanted to get her phone, her bag, she wanted to leave. But Combs told her, "You're not going to leave." The second witness today was an escort testifying that he participated at a freak-off at the Gramercy Park Hotel.
The last hearing before Sean Combs' trial starts, when he walked into federal court today, he appeared to be looking for his family. They've pretty much been at all of the hearings that I've been to, but there was no presence of his sons or his mother or his sister who had previously.
The Sean Diddy Combs trial has started, and I told you that I would give you an update when it's pertinent. So a lot of things have happened today, including they have chosen the 12 jurors that will decide Diddy's fate.
We have the latest from federal court in the Sean Combs criminal case. Status of jury selection, what Diddy's going to be wearing, violation of a gag order, rejecting a plea offer.
At trial, Combs will ditch the jail garb and wear ordinary clothes. As his lawyers argue, the evidence shows consenting adults being intimate in their own way. The decision guarantees Combs will face trial beginning just 4 days from now that will test whether one of music's most prolific figures used his power, wealth, and fame to exploit both women and men for decades.
Nobody expected Kid Cudi to take the stand, but when he did, what came out of his mouth turned a high-profile trial into a full-blown spectacle. Imagine this, a quiet courtroom buzzing with tension. Then suddenly one of the most respected names in music points a finger at Sean Diddy Combs and accuses him of something straight out of a movie. We're not talking drama. We're talking home invasions, car explosions, and a feud that started over a woman the world thought was long out of the picture, Cassie Ventura. In his testimony, Kid Cudi didn't hold back. He painted Diddy as a man obsessed with control, even describing him as a real-life Marvel supervillain.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs back behind bars, a magistrate judge denying him bail, saying that there were no conditions that she could conceive of that would make her confident that he would appear again for other court appearances. The judge saying, "My concern is this is a crime that happens behind closed doors."
But here's the twist. The story he told might be more real than anyone wants to believe. Why would Diddy allegedly target Kid Cudi? What truly happened that night when the car exploded? And why did the judge have to intervene when things got personal? This isn't merely a music industry scandal. It's a glimpse into the type of chaos that fame can't conceal. And the deeper we dig, the uglier it becomes. The case against Sean Diddy Combs has already been described as the most explosive trial in music history, and we're just getting started. What began as a quiet federal investigation has now revealed decades of disturbing behavior allegedly concealed beneath the glitz and glamour of Diddy's empire.
Sean P. Diddy Combs' family arrived for day one of his trafficking trial.
How is your father feeling today?
They walked into the federal courthouse in Manhattan, hand in hand, in a gesture of solidarity.
The charges, racketeering, coercion, violence, and none of this is hearsay. These are sworn testimonies inside a federal courtroom. It began with Cassie Ventura, a woman whose silence was once mistaken for peace. But when she finally spoke, it unleashed a tidal wave. She described years of psychological warfare, threats, and what she called living under surveillance. Her claims ignited the fuse. But then, Kid Cudi stepped in, and when he testified, the courtroom fell silent. This wasn't just another ex-employee or anonymous source. This was a Grammy-nominated artist, but a peer. What he revealed made it clear. The fear Cassie described wasn't paranoia, it was real.
For it to go so fast, for a federal trial to finalize a jury, do the strike process, and there was a little contention about that. The defense argued that they struck 7 of 9 black jurors, so there was a bit of a disagreement about that.
In 2011, something happened that allegedly sent Diddy spiraling. Cassie Ventura briefly dated Kid Cudi. It wasn't public, it wasn't scandalous, but to Diddy, it was a betrayal. According to multiple sources and sworn court documents, Diddy still considered Cassie his, even though their relationship had already begun to crumble. He couldn't tolerate the thought of her moving on, especially with someone respected, successful, and in the same industry. Cudi didn't gloat. He didn't speak about the relationship, but he didn't need to. The silence was enough to trigger Diddy's wrath, according to Cassie's own testimony.
This is going to be such a massive trial, like maybe the biggest Hollywood trial. God knows which way it's going to go. Is it going to go on for weeks?
For sure, weeks.
She told the court that Diddy threatened to blow up Cudi's car, and everyone thought she was exaggerating until the car actually exploded. Weeks after Cassie's warning, Kid Cudi's Porsche was parked outside his home in the Hollywood Hills. In the middle of the night, it erupted in flames. Cudi didn't say much publicly at the time, but insiders close to him revealed he was deeply shaken. Authorities later confirmed that the fire displayed all the signs of being started by a Molotov cocktail, a deliberate, targeted attack. However, no one was arrested. There were no fingerprints, no cameras, and no official suspect until now.
He set the tone by immediately as the first witness taking jurors back to 2016. It was March 5th when Flores said he responded to a call from hotel staff of a woman in distress on the 6th floor.
In court, Cudi testified that he believed it was Diddy, not because he saw him, but due to what Cassie had warned him about, and because just weeks earlier someone had broken into his home, unwrapping Christmas gifts and locking his dog in the bathroom. It wasn't just theft, it felt like a message. Standing in front of the court, Kid Cudi didn't hold back. He described the emotional toll of being targeted, and the cold look he said Diddy gave him at a party months later. He looked at me like a Marvel supervillain, Cudi told the court, like someone who knew what he'd done and wasn't sorry. The room was tense. Diddy sat motionless, jaw clenched, eyes fixed straight ahead.
Did he ever make $1 million deposit from anybody in the record business? Puff was friends with Jimmy Henchman.
It wasn't merely an accusation, it was a characterization. A man who thinks he can get away with anything because for decades he has. Cudi's voice didn't shake. He wasn't there to perform. He was there because, according to him, he had carried the truth for over a decade. And now that Cassie had spoken out, he felt he had to as well. As Cudi spoke about his brief relationship with Cassie, Diddy's lawyer pressed hard. Too hard. At one point, the attorney began questioning Cudi about the nature of his time with Cassie, insinuating it was just a stunt or a fling. The judge interrupted. Firmly, he warned the defense to back off, stating that their line of questioning was irrelevant and borderline inappropriate.
Diddy's lawyers had argued that he had made good faith efforts by showing up in New York ready to surrender to face these charges, but prosecutors said that he could not be trusted, that he has a history of trying to intimidate witnesses, including some who are going to be witnesses in this case.
In that moment, the courtroom wasn't just witnessing a trial, it was watching a legacy unravel in real time. Diddy's team appeared rattled. The jury leaned in, and the atmosphere of the room had shifted entirely. Because it was no longer just about what Diddy may have done, it was about whether anyone could stop him. Cassie had informed the court weeks earlier that Diddy once screamed at her, furious about her involvement with Kid Cudi. She stated he threatened her life and then threatened Cudi's. She didn't believe him at first, until that night, and when the car exploded, she said she knew. It wasn't random. It wasn't an accident. It was a warning. He wanted to send a message, she told the jury, to me and to him. That message: you don't move on unless I say so. The prosecution has used this story to illustrate a pattern: intimidation, violence, and control, not just over romantic partners, but over anyone who crosses Diddy's invisible lines. Since the trial began, whispers in the industry have become louder. Who else knew? Who else remained silent? And most importantly, who's next? Kid Cudi's story opened up something. Insiders suggest that more names could emerge: bodyguards, staff, industry peers. Because what's becoming clear is this: the allegations against Diddy weren't isolated incidents. They were part of a larger pattern, a network of fear, a system of silence, and now that the wall is crumbling, the secrets are spilling out. As the trial is unfolding, the courtroom heard from several key witnesses, including Kid Cudi, who testified about the alleged break-in at his home and the subsequent firebombing of his car. The prosecution also presented testimonies from Cassie Ventura's mother and former employees of Combs, painting a picture of a pattern of intimidation and abuse. Looking ahead, the court expects testimonies from more individuals who were close to Combs during the relevant period. These upcoming accounts are anticipated to offer additional insight into the allegations and the scope of the alleged misconduct. The judges indicated that the trial should wrap up by July 4th, advising jurors to refrain from discussing the case during the upcoming holiday weekend. The revelations from the trial have sent shockwaves through the music industry, prompting discussions about power dynamics and accountability. Kid Cudi's testimony, in particular, has underscored the potential consequences of unchecked authority within the entertainment sector. Cassie Ventura's allegations have also highlighted the challenges faced by individuals in abusive relationships, particularly when the abuser wields considerable influence. The trial has become a focal point for discussions about consent, coercion, and the mechanisms that allow such behaviors to continue unchecked. As the proceedings continue, both the public and industry insiders are grappling with the implications of the testimonies, considering how to create a safer and more equitable environment within the entertainment world. What we're witnessing right now isn't just a trial, it's a reckoning. Kid Cudi's testimony didn't merely provide new details. It gave weight to a claim that many found hard to believe, that someone as powerful as Diddy could act without consequence for decades. But now, with every story told, the empire resembles a house of cards. Cudi's voice joins Cassie's, and together they paint a picture the world cannot unsee. The car didn't just explode, the silence did as well. And the question we're all left with is this: how many more stories are out there, waiting to be told?